Okay, let's go. I'd like to call meeting of the Board of Zoning Appeals to order on Monday, September the 28th. Mrs. Kukla, please read the preamble.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My name is Liz Kukla. I'm the Secretary of the Board of Zoning Appeals, and I'm going to read the preamble this morning. In compliance with notification requirements of Ohio's open meeting law under COVID-19 emergency declaration, notice of this meeting has been publicly posted. All boards and commissions under the purview of the City Planning Department conducts its meetings according to Robert's Rules of Order. Actions during the meeting will be taken by voice vote. Abstentions from any vote due to a conflict of interest should be stated for the record prior to the taking of any vote. In order to ensure that everyone participating in the meeting have the opportunity to be heard, we ask that you use the raise hand feature before asking a question or making a comment. The raise hand feature can be found in the participants panel.
Whoa.
Please mute your phone.
I got it.
Okay.
Let me see, where was I? The participants panel, where are you? On the desktop and mobile version, activated by clicking the hand icon. Please wait for the chair or facilitator to recognize you and be sure to select unmute and announce yourself before you speak. When finished speaking, please lower your hand by clicking on the raise hand icon again and mute your microphone. We will also be utilizing the chat feature to communicate with participants. The chat feature can be activated by clicking the chat button located on the bottom of the WebEx screen. All meeting activity is being recorded via the WebEx platform. These proceedings are also being live streamed via YouTube for public view. We have provided a link to the meeting for those who wish to speak on a particular case via our website and email. We have also received emails from those who have provided written comment on a particular matter. Madam Chair, would you like me to call the roll?
Please.
Ms. Barnes?
Ms. Barnes is here.
Mr. Silverberry, whenever you turn your microphone on, we're getting a tremendous amount of feedback, so I've muted you just for your information. Sorry to interrupt, Ms. Kukla.
Ms. Faith?
I am present.
Mr. Donovan?
Here.
And Mrs. Johnson?
Here.
Madam Chair, we have a quorum.
Thank you very much. We have a withdrawal on calendar 20-116 at 1424 East 25th Street. Without objection, board?
Without objection.
Well, without objection.
Okay. Tim? Mr. Donovan? Have we lost Mr. Donovan?
He's still there.
Tim? Without objection, Tim? Well, without objection on my part, that gives us a 3 vote. Okay, thank you very much. Go ahead, Ms. Faith.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Moving along with calendar number 20-136.
I think we should do, hold on a moment. I think we should do Councilman Zone. He's on the,
Oh, certainly.
he could go about his work.
I was going by what was on the screen. So
I know.
moving, excuse me, moving on to 20-138. 1928 1 West 50th Street, rear dwelling. Teresa Gorski, owner, proposes to erect a 24-foot by 38-foot, 2-story frame single-family residence in-law suite on the 2nd floor of an existing 2-car garage with open patio in a B1 2-family residential district. The owner appeals for relief from the strict application of the Cleveland Codified Ordinances as stated in the agenda and the public record.
Thank you very much. Go ahead, Tim. Swear everybody in.
Somebody has some very bad reverb on that. Okay, I'm going to swear everyone who is here for this case. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the whole truth and nothing but the truth? Please respond with an I do and your name.
I do. Persky.
I do, David Bowen.
I do, Matt's own.
Thank you all.
Anyone else? Lou
Okay,
Wagner.
we'll have history of the property, please, Mrs. Kukla.
Thank you, Madam Chair. There's been no change in the zoning since 1929. In the records room, I found a permit was issued in 1933 for a two-story addition to the dwelling on this property. In 1968, a permit was issued to erect a chain link fence. There are no variances on file. And in the more recent history, I found in 2012, there was a board up order issued to the property. But then in 15, we see that there were repairs, interior repairs regarding plumbing, new furnace, rewiring, and that's all that I have, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. Yielding to the Law Department, Ms. Wagner.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. Appellant is requesting area variances from the maximum square footage, minimum floor area, rear yard, and distance requirements of the zoning code. To obtain the area variances, appellant must prove that denying the request will create a practical difficulty not generally shared by other land or buildings in the same district, will deprive the appellant of substantial property rights, and that granting the variances will not be contrary to the purpose and intent of the zoning code.
Thank you very much. Good morning, all. Ms. Gorski, tell us exactly what you'd like to do.
Thank you all for. What I'd like to do is build a garage unit that has an apartment above it, and two lots have been combined to one lot, and we've been working with the city planning and the neighborhood planner, Adam Davenport, to help site the carriage house, and David Bowen is helping me with construction of this project.
Good morning. So you own both these properties now, is that right?
Correct. And the properties have been to one lot now.
It has a lot consolidation that was approved by the county and the city.
Okay.
City planning.
Okay, do we have a plan?
Yeah, so if you don't mind, I can go through some of these pictures. What you see on the left of your screen, the greenhouse, that's the current house right now. About where you see that little bollard next to the driveway, her property line is just to the south of that and goes all the way back to the fence line. What we're looking to do is build a carriage house in the back. Next slide, please. If you look at the neighborhood, and this is the block, you can see that there's a lot of ancillary buildings to the back of residential structures that sit right on the back of the property line. Next slide, please. So this is kind of a typical use in the back, the rear yard. Next slide, please. This shows the overall consolidated site plan. We worked with Adam Davenport and Freddie Colliers to site this building. The desire from city planning was to move the structure a little farther north, and that would give a 10-foot buffer between the property line. And what that does is the consolidated plats to the south of it. If someone wanted to do a development of density and scale, it would give breathing room between that and the single family houses. And we've seen a lot of that in Ohio City. So we went through a lot of iterations before coming up with this. We also had to make sure that the driveway sat to the south of the structure, because as you can see where the utilities go into that house, Teresa's current house, you could not break that plane in there because all the utilities go to that side of her house. Next slide, please. This is a blow up of the site plan again. This was done by Dustin Keene over at Polaris. And so we used a civil engineer to design this. As you can see, if you looked at the rear yard setback and the distance from the house, you would not be able to build anything in that space back there if you followed the zoning code directly. And then as far as square footages go, it's just over the maximum square footage of the floor plate, but you can also see that a lot of it is garage and then a little bit of a patio off the side. As far as the dwelling unit being 675 square feet, that's kind of a normal apartment in the city of Cleveland right now, and you're looking for 950. So it's not marketable to do a larger square footage, and then it would also grossly enlarge the footprint of the building itself. So we find it impractical to put anything on this property if we didn't do exactly what we did. And we worked with planning staff, as I said before, and as Teresa stated, to make sure it was sited in a way that would give a project of density to the south of us the best opportunity for success. And I think that's it.
Okay.
Oh, here's the structure. So you can see kind of the structure. It's high quality materials. It's a wood frame structure. It has hardy siding on it, ample windows, and a nice side porch. Next slide, please. This shows you the footprint of it. So the dwelling above can be accessed from the little side porch or from garage itself. Next slide, please. And that's just some detailing. That's the end.
Adam, do you have anything to add?
I do a little bit. Good morning. We did look at this in our housing design review committee.
Madam Chair, was Mr. Davenport sworn in?
Oh, correct, Liz. Thank you. Yes, I was not.
Thank you, Liz. Tim?
Adam, raise your right hand. Do you swear that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do. Thank you. As I was saying, we did look at this in our housing design review committee, as well as I think the land bank looked at this a while ago with their process. I think it's the smartest plan with what we're given, and definitely looking to the south, as David was describing before, with any future development. I think, personally, I think we should encourage more of these projects in the city. It makes them financially viable for the owner to put, garages or other additions to their home on their property. And it's also a smart way to kind of, get density or high density. The plan that David showed you also, has a couple other perks. It actually saves a street tree on West 50th. And then I think he talked about what Teresa and him were describing before with the design and any future development to the south. Thank you.
Thank you, Adam. There was somebody else sworn in, I believe. Maurice?
I think you're referring to me, Madam Chairwoman, Councilman Zone.
Okay. Oh, Councilman? Love to hear from you, man.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman and Commission members. I'm here on behalf of not only my office, but to send on behalf of Ohio City Inc. and Detroit Shoreway. This West 50th is a shared service area. Both local development corporations are supportive of the requests that are being asked for. West 50th has arguably the most magnificent, majestic street canopy. There's ash trees on that street. We've been inoculating them for the ash borer since 2009, and I'm glad that we were able to shift the curb cut and the apron to accommodate saving that one magnificent tree. The other thing is that it's just a smart design. Teresa not only lives in the neighborhood, but she owns a small business in the community as well, and is is a contributing member of our community, and I wholeheartedly would support the variances that are requested. And just last comment, Madam Chairman, if you allow me a point of personal privilege, having previously read out an undergrad as a personal bailiff, I've sworn in thousands of people. And Mr. Donovan, when you're swearing in people, you should ask them to swear or affirm. Some people will be offended if you just ask them to swear. So swear or affirm is the appropriate jargon. And I wholeheartedly support this piece of legislation. I see Blanca Salva from my office joined the call. I wasn't sure I was going to be able to make it this morning, but here I am. And thank you, Blanca, for joining the call today.
You got a thumbs up from her.
She has her hand raised. Blanca, did you have any comments? No, you're good. Okay, thank you.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
this is Liz Kukla. Just for the record purposes, Mr. Bowen stated that this is a new construction. However, the notice of nonconformance stated that this is an existing two-car garage that the in-law suite would be added to. I guess the question would be to Mr. Riccardi, is this would this change the notice of nonconformance any? And do you think that this requires a review or, again, by Building and Housing?
No, Mr. Riccardi's, no, it's the same variances.
Yes, Mr. Riccardi answered that question. He stated that it's the same variances. Okay, that answers my question. Thank you, Madam Chair.
You're welcome. Board, any other questions? If not, I will entertain a motion.
I have a general question.
Go ahead, Tim.
Is everybody else getting this awful echo? I mean, I get echo on everybody's testimony, including the one I'm giving right now. Does anybody else have echo?
I'm hearing no echoes, and I've got virtually everybody muted.
Okay.
Is anybody else hearing an echo? Carol?
I'm going to jump off and jump back on in hopes to clear it up. But after the vote, after we affirm the vote.
Madam Chair?
Yes, Helena?
Yeah, thank you. I just had a question to the Mr. Bowen, probably. You're using hardy board siding. Is there any fire retardant materials being used or specified in the drawings and construction?
Yes, the hardy board's fire retardant. There is some steel in the building too. Obviously, that's fire retardant. And then we use low VOC paints when we do all the painting.
Great. Thank you. That's I would make a motion now, Madam Chair.
Go ahead.
Given the overwhelming support and the efforts by city planning and the approval of the various departments that were involved in this and the support by Councilman Zone, I would move that we approve calendar number 20-138.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Call a roll, Liz.
Thank you. Ms. Barnes?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
Ms. Bates?
Yes.
Mrs. Johnson?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Thank you. Oh, and Madam Chair, for the record, those are items just 1, 2, and 3, as we don't have the authority to grant number 4 regarding the city planning approval.
That's correct.
And so that's calendar number 20-138 is granted. We will ratify this case next week and send you a letter.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Is Councilman Zone still on?
No.
I think he left.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, calendar 20-136.
Okay, thank you, Madam Chair. Calendar, excuse me, calendar number 20-136 at 4903 West 13th Street. Joseph J. Summary, owner, proposes to construct a 440 square foot living room addition per plans in an A1 one-family residential district. The owner appeals for relief from the strict application of the Cleveland Codified Ordinances as stated in the agenda and the public record.
Thank you very much. Tim?
Hi. Good morning.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Waiting for my testimony to get up on the screen so I can read it.
There you go.
Read
Sorry.
the testimony at the end, looking for someone who is going to give testimony to affirm it by saying, I do, and what's your name? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Name?
Joseph Samari.
Anyone else?
Looks like we have Richard Brandon. You're muted, sir.
I do, Richard Brandon Makita.
All right. Anyone else?
Liz Kukla, you had your hand raised. Was there a comment you needed to make?
No, I'm sorry. That's from the last hearing. I will take that down.
I believe that's it then, Mr. Donovan.
Okay, I think that I've been remiss because there are only 4 board members for the next few weeks that if it becomes when there are only 4 members present, you have the right to postpone till there are 5. Because if the vote comes up as a 2 and 2, it goes nowhere. You would need at least 3 affirmative votes. Okay, now we'll have the history of the property.
Thank you, Madam Chair. There's been no change in the zoning since 1929. In the records room, I found a permit was issued in 1946 to erect a brick veneer dwelling, 1 story. In 1948, a permit was issued to erect a private frame garage, and in 1969, a permit was issued to erect a chain link fence. There are no variances on file and nothing of note in the more recent history.
Thank you very much. Yielding to the Law Department, Ms. Wagner.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. Appellant is requesting area variances from the rear yard and side yard requirements of the zoning code. To obtain the area variances, appellant must prove that denying the request will create a practical difficulty not generally shared by other land or buildings in the same district, will deprive the appellant of substantial property rights, and that granting the variances will not be contrary to the purpose and intent of the zoning code.
Thank you very much. Mr. Summary, tell us exactly what you'd like to do.
I want to have an addition on the back of my house. I've lived here quite a while and been looking to move, but decided to stay in Cleveland early in the year. And I'm going to stay here. I want to have a little bit more space. So I want a back room, a new living room with a little bit more space, be more comfortable. That's all. I want to put an addition on the back with a little patio on the back of that also. So that's basically it. It's about the size of a 2-car garage, maybe a little bit smaller. And that's it. That's his existing house. Brandon? Is he there?
I need to go back to how you access the.
Well, there is an existing sunroom on the back there. You can see it. There's a passageway there. It's about 9 by 13, and the new living room would be have a 20 by 20 area estimate size with steps going down into it from there, and it would just be a living area. A little more room, a little more breathing room. The sunroom would have some like a little dining area in it then too. I just want to expand the house as opposed to leaving the city, so or looking elsewhere for a larger home. And that's basically it. Just trying to. I've been here my entire life, and if I'm going to keep here the rest of my life, I'd like a little bit more space. So.
What happens to the existing living room? I'm just curious.
You know, it's small. If I have people over, it's I just think it's small. It would be just like an offset room that I keep decorated nicely. You know, people coming in or whatnot. But
So in today's verbiage, the existing living room will stay as an existing living room, but your new living room will be your great room.
correct, true.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Yeah. I mean, I would put probably another sofa in the other room, and it would just be more of like a casual design room. That's all it would be.
Okay.
I have people over, and it's like we're sitting in each other's faces. And,
Gotcha.
it's
Madam Chair, we also have Mr. Brandon Makita with his hand raised.
Has Brandon been
Yes, I
sworn
had
in?
it raised in case
Yes.
you guys needed me to jump in
Okay.
on anything.
Brandon? Richard Brandon
Yes,
Makita.
can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay. Yes, no, I was just jumping in on that existing sunroom, the way that that is already constructed. Basically, what we're doing is just taking off those walls because the foundation and base of it is actually fully poured, about 2.5 feet above grade. So structurally, we're just building upon that and extending out with new foundations for the addition. And then if you can go back to the main site plan, the comments are here. We did update this a little bit from the original submission just for this meeting. The items that were updated are clouded. On the previous submission, when we submitted for permit, we just didn't put those adjacent existing garages that are there right on the other side of the property, on the east side of the property line. I did also add the dimension from Mr. Summery's existing garage distance from the property line. I know currently we're 18'1" back. I know the code mentions 20. And then the distance to the edge of that property line, I believe the owner on the south side did send an email to Elizabeth Kolka in regards to support of the project. And we did also meet with the Old Brooklyn CDC, which last week, which I believe they were supportive of as well.
Okay, yes, we do have that letter. Thank you. Liz, do we have anything else besides the Old Brooklyn support letter?
I would have forwarded that to Mr. Riccardi, Mr. Rulin. But let me double check. If there's more testimony, I can double check to see if we got it.
Yeah,
Maybe
I don't have any other support letters.
Mr. Semery?
my neighbors submitted support letters to the city. Someone reached out to them and they replied back in regards that they think it would be a great project and a good addition to the neighborhood. My immediate neighbor.
Could I have the name? I'm sorry, excuse me. Could I have the name?
Timothy Taylor wrote the letter.
Thank you. Thank you.
Letter response. Mm-hmm. I was included on that too.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
The only variance issue that, in my mind, calls for any further examination is the distance with the gutter and the gutter board to the property line of 1 foot 9 inches, I believe. It does seem that if you wanted to add a little room there, you could. You know, you could shorten up the grand room or the whatever it's called, but you could add another foot on there, maybe get it up to 3 foot, which I thought was our practical standard there.
Mr. Semery, do you want to answer that?
I don't understand the response so much. What was?
No, I'm here. This is Richard Brandon Makita. Can you all hear me?
Yes. Okay, Richard.
Yeah, so our hope was, because currently actually to the edge of the property from the edge of the home is 2'6". I understand that the gutter line extends slightly, but it actually is set back a little further than the actual existing building itself, the main home itself, which is why we were hoping that that would be still acceptable from the next structure, with the garage that is already existing from the neighbors. We are 4 feet back to the edge of the actual new addition structure.
Yes, I see that. It's indented on the plan. 2 foot 6 inches. Okay. Tim, you have any other questions?
No.
Okay. Anybody else? Board members?
Madam Chair, this is Liz Kukla.
Yes.
I have checked my inbox. I don't see anything from that neighbor. I searched his name and I also searched West 13th Street. Perhaps he sent it to somebody from city planning, but I don't have that in my inbox.
Okay.
Madam Chair, I can say that when I went out to take pictures, I spoke to a neighbor 2 houses to the south, and he was supportive of the addition. I can also say that city planning has no objections to this. The councilman and the CDC support this project, and as the architect has stated, the actual structure is actually further back from the property line than the house itself. I mean, I agree with Mr. Donovan. It would be nice if we could get a little bit more space in there other than the 1'9" from the gutters. But if that's not possible, we still support the project.
Thank you, Maurice. Any other comments? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Madam Chair, I'll make the motion. On calendar number 20-136, given support of the councilperson and city planning and the CDC, Old Brooklyn CDC in the area of this project, and after reviewing the plan, I would like to motion that we move ahead with approval of this variance.
Second. Call the roll.
Ms. Barnes?
Yes, Ms. Barnes.
Yes.
Ms. Barnes?
She said yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
Ms. Faith?
Yes.
Mrs. Johnson?
Yes.
Calendar 20-136 is granted. It'll be ratified next week and we'll send you a letter.
Thank you.
Thank
you very
you.
much.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Ms. Faith, go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Moving on to calendar number 20-137 at 1347 East 185th Street. Willie Bonner, owner, proposes to build a 36-foot by 38-foot, 1,368 square foot wood frame single-story garage on a 9,250 square foot lot located in a A1 one-family residential district. The owner appeals for strict relief from the strict application of the Cleveland Codified Ordinances as stated in the agenda and the public record.
Thank you very much. Go ahead, Tim.
For everyone for this case, kindly raise your right hand. I'm going to give a statement. Your reply is, I do, with your name. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the whole truth and nothing but the truth? Anybody here for this case?
I don't see Mr. Bonner.
No, then we move to the next case.
Calendar 20-146 at 353 East 123rd Street. Go ahead, Ms. Faith.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. Calendar number 20-146 at 353 East 123rd Street. Gary Cooper, owner, proposes to construct a one-story 22-foot by 26-foot, 572 square feet, metal frame garage in an A1 one-family residential district. The owner appeals for relief from strict application of the Cleveland Codified Ordinances as stated in the agenda and the public record.
Thank you very much.
Everyone for this case, kindly raise your right hand. Again, I'm going to read a statement. I'm looking for a response that says I do and your name. Here we go. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the whole truth and nothing but the truth? Anyone here for this case?
Mr. Cooper, do we have a Gary Cooper?
All right. What?
Well,
Okay,
we
let's go on to calendar 20, really, 20-1.
Maybe we should ask if there's anybody here for the case before we read it.
Okay. Is there anybody here for this case on East 123rd Street? Going once, going twice, out the door.
Wow.
We do have
right.
Mr. Al-Hadidi for the next case.
Okay.
Excellent.
Go ahead,
Calendar number
Mr.
20. Thank you,
Yeah.
Madam Chair.
Hello?
Calendar number, I'm reading the case, sir, just a moment. Calendar number 20-107 at 3886 Lee Road. Hani Al-Adidi, owner, proposes to establish use as a carryout restaurant in a G1 local retail zoning district and an urban form overlay district. The owner appeals for relief from the strict application of the following Cleveland Codified Ordinances as stated in the agenda and the public record. This case was postponed from August 24th, 2020.
So there's someone here.
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, he's
Okay,
here.
here we go. I'm
Okay.
not going to repeat myself. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do, and my name is Hani Al-Hadidi.
Okay.
Anyone else here?
No, just me.
Okay.
No, I'm here.
All right. We've already had the
Onward we
history.
go.
Okay, we've already had the history. Let's do the legal standard we'll be judging the case on, please, Ms. Wagner.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. Appellant is requesting area variances in the off-street parking and landscaping requirements of the zoning code. To obtain the area variances, appellant must prove that denying the request will create a practical difficulty not generally shared by other land or buildings in the same district, will deprive the appellant of substantial property rights, and that granting the variances will not be contrary to the purpose and intent of the zoning code.
Thank you very much, Ms. Wagner. Mr. Aditi, we left you the last time that you were going to meet with the Marker Fields in city planning. Have you done that?
I talked to them and I emailed them, but nobody, when I talked to I left a message and nobody called me back after that. So I tried even to get loan to do the parking lot, to do, you know, like you see the parking lot, to do the drainage there, but it's cost a lot. Like they're asking for over $35,000 just to do the drain, and that's too much money. I try to keep the area there clean and nice. There's a lot of people, they putting a lot of trash in there. I try to take care of this building, but it's gonna cost me a lot of money, and especially it's a small building, you know what I mean? And plus they're asking to do the drainage for $35,000. And I tried to get a loan from the city. I tried to get a loan from anywhere just to do it because I want to do business there, because I own a small business next door from it. You can see this, the other building, it's mine. And I made it clean. I made the roof, the other building, I made it nice. But this area, the people there, my neighbor, they bought a lot of trash in there because it's empty, nobody in there, nobody take over it. And it gives me a really hard time to keep cleaning it. I want to put a small business there to make the area more nice and more clean. And especially, I understand the parking lot, you guys need a drain there, But the thing is, if you look at the picture, you see the other parking lot, it's got a lot of drain and it's a small. Mine is very small, like, and it's connected, very connected to it. So it just, you could say like it's both like a one parking lot, big, small parking lot. And mine, when I bring a lot of companies, some companies, they ask for 42,000 to do it. Some company, the last one, they asked me for $35,000 cash to do it. And that's a lot of money to do it. And especially it's existing building and it's really very small and it's inside damage. I need a lot of money to fix it inside to make it as a small restaurant to carry it. So, I'm pleasing you guys and I'm wishing you guys just let me do this small project, keep the area clean, hire more employee from the area for the neighborhood. And especially it's been like this, the Barkila, and they've been using the same way and nobody bought a drainage there because all the company now they're asking, especially, there's no employees right now. They say, they're asking for a lot of money. When you say like $40,000 cash to do just that range before I do the business, before I update the building from outside, inside, it needs a lot of money from me. And I'm not that rich guy, even after Corona, COVID-19, the business went down big time. So my money is a little tight. So, I'm wishing you guys just let me do this small project so I can make myself, my family a little money. And, I keep the neighbor clean. The neighborhood, it's like, I keep it clean and nice. And so that's all. So I don't know what you guys gonna do right now. Especially
Madam Chair.
Yes.
Madam Chair, I would like to say that I spoke with Marka Fields, the neighborhood planner for this area. She said she did have a conversation with this gentleman. She does not support this project. She said that he has complained about the price of adding the drainage. He asked if he could just drain it into his neighbor's property, which the city absolutely does not support. These are basic requirements that we ask of all people that are putting in a new commercial business. She's also not happy with the gentleman's property next door, the way that's maintained. If you can see the windows, they're completely filled with signage. Every single window on that building, you can't even see into it because he's got pictures of women in wigs. Apparently, it's a beauty supply place. So she's based on what the gentleman has done next door. She definitely does not support this project.
Thank you, Maurice.
And she also recommended that he contact the Economic Development Department, although he said he never talked to Marka Fields either, so I'm not sure if he actually talked to the Economic Development Department either.
No, sir, excuse me. She gave me a number to talk to them for the other people, for the people they give a loan. That's the people they don't answer me. I left for the message. But for her, I talked to her. So
I'm sorry, when you first started testifying, you stated that you never talked to the neighborhood planner. Maybe you were just mistaken.
no, maybe I don't understand what you guys was meaning, but
Okay.
The loan
Great.
people. And I feel like you don't want me to do it. Like the way
Does
you
the councilman weigh in on this?
Ms. Fields did not say that she had had any conversations with the council person.
And Mrs. Cookman, do we have a letter or anything from the council person?
No, I don't have anything from the council person.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Hadidi, we have rules and we need to do that. Maybe you just need to find a different location for your restaurant.
So you guys rather to keep the building like this, nobody clean it, nobody does nothing to it, then I do small business there. So what do you guys allow me to do there? I do want to keep it as an empty building. So it just like, I don't know what you guys rather for me to keep it like empty building. The people, they keep throwing a lot of stuff in there because nobody in there. I'm not there 24/7. And if it has a business, it's going to be clean and they clean it and they do a lot of stuff. So, but if there's no business in there, it's going to be an empty building. And what's the empty building in the east side going to be? How it's going to be? So nobody going to take care of it. It's going to be like, what did you guys allow me to do there? Just keep it as is, empty building, and pay the property tax. That's all. If that's what the city allow me to do?
I think what the
Or-
city would like you to do is to take the building you own, the building that has been referred as being one which every single window has an obstructing view of a picture of a wig, and to go and follow the city's rules on how much signage you can put into a building's window frame, and then show some good faith with the city and come back at another time once you've established better faith and trust. And so in doing that, you withdraw your request.
I cannot hear you clearly.
You couldn't hear me? Can anybody hear me?
I can
I heard you.
Yes.
Well, I'm not going to repeat it.
So my question is, what did you guys want me to do with this?
That's not our, I'm sorry, that's not our job here. That's not our job here.
I know,
Our
but
job
you
here
guys,
is to look at your request and to adjudicate it in terms of input from the community, city council, planning, etc. We're on the verge of making a vote on what you're asking us to do, which is basically allow you to continue to have a parking lot with no drainage that goes into your neighbors, which is an illegal practice in the city of Cleveland.
but it's been like this building, so.
And it will stay like that until somebody does what's in the drain and all.
Mr. El Hadidi,
Yes.
what is before us is to approve the use of the building or not. We cannot approve the use of your building because the parking lot has no drainage. Your testimony is that the installation of the drainage is cost prohibitive to you. Therefore, if we go to a vote on this, since you cannot put in the drainage, we will have to deny this because that is the case that is before us. So it is suggested to you that you might want to withdraw your case at this time so we do not rule against you, meaning that you will not ever be able to use this building for the takeout restaurant. As to the development of your property, that's not for us to handle for you. We suggest that you go to your city council person, you go to the Community Development Corporation for this area, seek their advice and their partnership in helping you to develop your businesses and your property, and go to the city small business and economic development departments, and they will assist you in working towards developing your business. As it stands now, we have testimony from the city planner that the business that you have up and running is not compliant, that you are covering your windows with photographs that promote your business inside that existing building. That leads us to not want to have good faith in what you might want to do going forward. We can't approve the new building without drainage in the parking lot. That's just the rules of the city. So if we vote against it, we will vote it down and you will not be able to use the building for your proposed use. Your other option is to withdraw the case and seek help from the people that I just suggested so that you can move forward and hopefully become a success and come back to us later with something that might work on a property that you have. Do you understand all that? Does that make sense to you?
I understand. You guys want me to keep it empty and that's it. So that's all, I see, because it's impossible for me to put $40,000 for the drainage. And you guys know it's the building by itself. It's not worth it like that much money to put a drainage for $40,000 in there. So as from you guys,
you're not being victimized here. We're just asking you to follow the rules of the laws of the city. The laws of the city require drainage in that parking lot. You're not being victimized here. We're asking you to go to the economic development, to go to the city planner, go to the council person and go to the city, the corporation for development in that area and have them assist you with what needs to happen. We just want you to be in compliance with the rules of the city. We're not trying to victimize you here. We just want you to follow the laws.
I know, I understand you guys want me to follow the rules, but
Let's hear a motion. Do I have a motion? I'll move that we deny the variance.
Well, unless he would like to withdraw.
Well, I'm putting a
Would you
motion
like to
out there.
would you like to withdraw, sir? Because if we vote, we will deny it and you will not be able to do anything.
Well, that's not true.
Please.
But he will not be
Well,
able to ask for the same use under the same
exactly.
circumstances.
Right.
what's the question?
Do you want to withdraw the case and seek assistance so that you can develop your property?
What do you mean withdraw
Or-
the?
Do you want to withdraw your case? Because if you don't withdraw your case, we will vote on it and it will be denied.
Yeah, I wanna withdraw the case. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Without objection.
Without objection.
Without objection.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Okay.
Thank you.
Alana, 20-120 at 3125 West 14th Street.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Calendar 20-120 at 3125 West 14th Street. Franklin De Rivera, owner, proposes to enclose existing wooden open front porch of a single-family residence in a D1 multifamily residential district. The owner appeals for relief from the strict application of the Cleveland Codified Ordinance as stated in the agenda and the public record.
Thank you. Tim?
Will everyone for this case, please raise your right hand. I'm making a statement at the end. I am looking for the words "I do" with your name. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do. This is Franklin D. Rivera.
Anyone else?
I do, Khalid Hawthorne.
Anyone else?
We also have John Rakoskis, the architect.
Okay, anyone else? Hearing that, let's move forward.
Okey-doke. History of the property, please, Mrs. Kukla.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Give me one moment. I thought we had a testimony on this one.
And Madam Chair, I just wanted to point out that Mr. Cooper has joined us from one of the previous cases.
Thank you.
He had a little bit of trouble with getting the link, so we should be able to go back to that one.
All right, thank you. Go ahead.
Okay, I have the history. I have the history ready for you, Madam Chair. There's been no change in the zoning since 1929. In the records room, I found a permit was issued in 1896 to erect a two-story dwelling. In 1907, a dwelling addition was made to the property. And also in 1907, a one-story stable was erected on this property. There are no variances on file and nothing of note in the more recent history.
Thank you very much. Yielding to the Law Department, Ms. Wagner.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. Appellant is requesting an area variance from the enclosed porch setback requirements of the zoning code. To obtain the area variance, appellant must prove that denying the request will create a practical difficulty not generally shared by other land or buildings in the same district, will deprive the appellant of substantial property rights, and the granting the variance not be contrary to the purpose and intent of the zoning code.
Thank you very much. Mr. De Rivera, tell us exactly what you'd like to do.
What I'd like to do is rebuild the porch because it's old and falling apart, and I'd like to enclose it so I could actually use it more times in a year than just the summertime.
So are you thinking of making it like another room?
No, just an enclosed porch that we can go out there, like say, in the fall and enjoy the porch.
Okay. So So there'll be no heat out there?
No,
Okay.
it would simply be enclosed with windows and
It can be open with a screen.
and then we'll be able to open with screens if we wanted to, but it'll just be sealed up so that I can actually use more often.
Gotcha. Okay. Who else is on this case? Khalid?
What's city planning's definition
Yes,
when you
yes, I'm here.
go and you basically create a structure of window walls on a porch? Is that considered then at the end an extension of the house rather than a porch?
I believe Mr. Riccardi would be the right person to answer that, but yeah, I believe once you enclose the front porch, then that becomes part of the house and part of it changes the setback of the house, I think.
Exactly.
Mr. Riccardi, can you confirm that, please?
He likes to chat that one.
Yes, he's not so chatty yet. Yes, it could be interpreted that way, according to Mr. Riccardi. And I don't know, Mr. Rakauskas, the architect for this project, is here. Did you want to explain the project further?
Mr. Rakauskas?
You're muted.
Oh.
Sir?
Muted.
Maybe not. Mr. Did you ask to speak to Khalid Farm from Tremont West?
Yes.
Yeah, so I just wanted to chime in with the support for the Block Club and Tremont West organization. We had a chance to review the plans, and Mr. De Rivera's a longtime neighbor provided context within the neighborhood and the actual design, so we're satisfied with those.
Madam Chair, City Planning does not object to closing in this.
No, let's move it on.
Reconstructing and closing in this front porch.
Okay. Then, any other questions, board? I will entertain a motion.
Madam Chair, question to the appellant or the architect. How will the porch be accessed if it's going to be enclosed?
The one inside doors, storm doors. Tell me.
I'm not hearing John.
Hey, can you hear me now? The stairs.
Can you hear me?
We're going to have basically the front.
I think we can hear John now.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
This is John Rakauskas.
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay, I've had a lot of trouble with WebEx. I have to call in along with my login because for some reason I had this problem. So, okay, now I'm on the phone, and remind me what I need to respond to.
I think Ms. Faith had a question.
Yeah, my question was, if you enclose the porch, how are you going to access the porch? Are you going to have access from the living room, or are you just going to have access from the main doorway, or how's that going to work?
No, there's the front door is still going to be there. You could just see it in that last picture that you had up there, and that will still be there from the inside. That door will still be there, and that will be how it was accessed from the inside. And the outside door.
So you'll go out the front door, and then you'll open a door into the enclosed porch?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Did we have any other comments?
Madam Chair, I did have a question. Is that you said somebody said rebuilding the front porch? Does that include the roof and everything, or how extensive will the reconstruction be?
No, that really means the porch flooring, the floor deck and supports.
What about
the
the ceiling? That looks like that's also in
the ceiling needs to be repaired too. Yes. Mm-hmm.
You probably ought to prepare the roofing.
No.
The roofing is still in pretty good shape. It was done quite a few years ago, like 20 years ago, but it's in decent shape.
Something's leaking.
And that could be a separate project if it needs to be at some point.
Madam Chair, given the testimony, support of the local community groups, etc., I would move that we grant the variance.
Second.
Call the roll.
Madam Chair, would you like me to call the roll?
Please.
Thank you. Ms. Barnes?
Yes.
Ms. Faith?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan?
Yep.
Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Calendar 20-120 is granted. It'll be ratified next week, and we'll send you a letter.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Great.
Now, we're going back to calendar 20-146 at 353 East 123rd Street. Gary Cooper is now with us.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Chair. Calendar 20-146 at
We already got all the way to
353.
can we get all the way to my swearing in?
She was just reading the case first.
All right.
At 353 East 123rd Street, Gary Cooper, owner, proposes to construct a one-story, 22-foot by 26-foot, 572 square foot metal frame garage in an A1 one-family residential district. The owner appeals for relief from the strict application of the Cleveland Codified Ordinances as stated in the agenda and the public record.
Now you can talk.
Everyone,
Okay, Tim.
please. Case, kindly raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
What's your name?
My name is Gary Cooper.
Okay.
Anyone else?
No, sir, just myself.
Okay.
Okay, the history of the property, please, Mrs. Kukla.
Thank you, Madam Chair. There's been no change in the zoning since 1929. In the records, I found a permit was issued in 1927 to erect a two-story dwelling and garage. In 1950, a permit was issued to enclose part of a porch. In 1957, a permit was issued to convert from one-family dwelling to two-family. There's no variance on file, and in the more recent history, I only found that there was a violation in 2004 stating that the front steps are blocked with wires and buckets on the property. That's all that I have, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. Yielding to the Law Department, Ms. Wagner.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. Appellant is requesting area variances from the garage placement requirements of the zoning code. To obtain the area variances, appellant must prove that denying the request will create a practical difficulty not generally shared by other land or buildings in the same district, will deprive the appellant of substantial property rights, and that granting the variances will not be contrary to the purpose and intent of the zoning code.
Thank you very much. Mr. Cooper, tell us exactly what you'd like to do.
Replace the old tore up metal garage that I was there. I had it taken apart. And then I was trying to put up another new metal garage to have it delivered and installed. The old garage that was there, I was looking at trying to fix it, but it was rusted at the bottom. It was the door itself wasn't able to attach. The back section of the garage inside, I had a big hole in the back. It wasn't fixable.
How many cars and trucks and boats and motorcycles do you have?
Well, I have one motorcycle. I have 3 vehicles, and then my tenant has one.
So this garage is not going to hold all that.
It will, if you look at the newer photo with the concrete, there's a section of concrete off to the side where a vehicle would go, but inside the garage, like the van is in the picture, that one would be in there, and then also the motorcycle, and then the tennis vehicle. Versus parking on the street. During the time frame of when this was going on, and I had to park on the street. Parking on the street has been kind of rough over there, over where I stay. Between overturned vehicles, people driving erratic, running into the building structure across the street, running a whole car into it. That was all in this past year. And then the violence has been going on where during that time frame, my brown little small S10 pickup truck there actually had got its window shot out, just parked on the street.
The two cars, I'm looking at 3 pictures on my screen. The house,
Yes.
I guess that's a pickup truck there on the pad, and then on this newly poured pad on the side of the house, looks like 2 more cars. Is
Right.
that right?
Yes, ma'am. That's the small S10 pickup truck, and then my tennis black car there.
Okay. Is that on the side street? Yes, it is. I see it in the bottom picture.
On tap.
Who's the council person?
Councilman Polensek.
Wow,
Yeah.
he's not here, huh?
I don't know if he had permission to pour that other pad alongside the house for those 2 cars on the side street. It's in a setback area.
Well, Madam Chair, to Mr. Riccardi, do you actually need a permit to pour a pad like that? The one that's in the side yard? You don't need a permit to pour that pad, but parking is prohibited there. So in other words, somebody could have poured the pad and use it as a patio, but you can't use it as parking, as you know, in the side yard, in the setback, the side setback.
Right. Do you understand that, Mr. Cooper?
I do now. I didn't know that you couldn't park like.
Yeah, you can't park there. You want to use it as a patio, fine, but not as a parking lot.
Okay.
So where are we going to put all these cars?
I guess my S10 will be having to go. The tenant, even when the van comes back, is still room by having it on the dolly, wheel dollies, and it'll fit in there, and then still my tennis car can still fit in there. I just have to, I guess my S10 pickup, I've been leaning towards probably getting rid of it, or didn't want to, because I'd rather drive it and put miles on it than my GMC there. But I would I want to stay within compliance, and yeah, so I'll probably store it somewhere else or take my GMC somewhere else, and I'll continue to drive my S10.
Now let's stick to the subject matter here. Are we going to vote and give the variances on the main projects, yes or no?
Madam Chair, from Maurice Rowland City Planning, this is a very tight site. I was out there, I took the photographs. Everything seems to be well maintained out there. Everything was very neat and tidy. The gentleman definitely has a hardship with the parking situation there. And there was, as you can see from the other pictures, there was a garage there in the past. So I would support the variances to build the new garage. That would help to get at least one of the other cars off of that parking pad. But as you know, we could not support that parking pad, although that's not even up for discussion today. Although I will just say on the record that city planning does not support parking in the setback. Just to say that for legal reasons.
I'll go along with what you suggested. I'll entertain a motion.
Madam Chair, given the testimony, I would move that we grant the variances.
Do I hear thank you. Call the roll.
Excuse me.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Ms. Barnes? Ms. Barnes?
Barnes, yes.
Thank you. Mr. Donovan?
Yes.
Ms. Faith?
Yes.
Mrs. Johnson?
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Calendar 20-146 is granted. It'll be ratified next week and we'll send you a letter.
Thank you. I appreciate you all.
Thank you.
Has Willie Bonner shown up? Maurice?
I do not see him unless that's the person on the phone, but I think that was, I don't know who's on the phone. Is that, that's probably Lori. Lori, could you say something, please?
Yes, I'm on the phone.
Okay. All right, so
Other cases?
20-137 at 1347 East 185th Street. Willie Bonner, you've not shown up. 1, 2, 3, it's the end of our morning session. We're going to dismiss it without objection, board?
Without objection.
Without objection.
Objection.
Okay. Okay, let's do old business.
What's the first old business?
I don't know, I don't have any.
No,
Okay, here we go.
Here we go. Sorry, I had to jump around the screen a little bit.
That's all right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. Without objection?
Without objection.
Now on number
Without
6.
objection.
Okay, number 6, they wanted a reconsideration.
I think we should go into executive